This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to another victorious edition of the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST. I'm Jonathan Shields. I'll be with you for every game for the rest of the season. For those of you that are still new, as we end our first full week doing the POSTCAST for the Rays, I was born and raised in St. Petersburg, Florida, a huge Rays fan. I'm just blessed to be able to cover this team on a daily basis with all of you guys. If you guys are in the live right now, leave a like and comment. If you guys are watching the replay, wherever you're watching it, also leave a like and comment. Let's continue to grow this, and especially if you're in the live, leave a comment, and we'll make sure to get to not every single one, a lot of your comments later and the end of the live like we always do. And this one, we're going to be talking about Chandler Simpson and his game-changing speed and just, frankly, how good he was today. We're going to be talking about how the pitching and defense is key to now this 5-game winning streak. And then we're going to be talking about, which I think is the most underrated key to this winning streak.
This is what you'll be talking about.
More key hits for the Rays. The Rays so far during this 5-game winning streak have been putting constant pressure on the opponent's pitching staff. And in this one, we got a Taylor Walls home run. Once Taylor Walls hit that home run, I was like, there's no way the Rays are losing. It was a borderline miracle when Taylor Walls hits a home run. It was his first extra base hit of the season. And it was 1-1. That was a big response after Iglesias hit a single to put the Padres up 1-0 in the bottom of the second. And then we're actually going to get to the turning point right here because I thought in the top of the third inning, this was a huge moment.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
When we talk about timely hits, the Rays have done so much so far this year with 2 outs. 2 outs, it looks like nothing's going on. Simpson walks. And then right away, you're like, oh, here we go. And then a Brandon Lau RBI single after Simpson stole second. With that speed, we've been talking about a lot since he's gotten up. Him getting a walk is almost catastrophic for the other team because it immediately almost turns into a double or a triple with his speed because he can swipe 2 bases. And then Brandon Lau, big RBI single. And again, all with 2 outs. The way that the Rays have battled with 2 outs, especially, not in this series, but during this whole winning streak, has been awesome. Now it's back-to-back games for Brandon Lau with an RBI. Don't let him get hot. Brandon Lau, when we see it, when he's hot, he is red freaking hot. And when he's cold, he just looks like he can't hit a beach ball up there. But when he is hot, and if he gets hot right now, the Rays are going to be extra, extra dangerous. And then we go back with even more key hits. It's Simpson in the top of the 5th, again with 2 outs. And then he goes and he scores on a wild pitch. Chandler Simpson was so fantastic in this game. And probably outside of the Yandy's 3-hit game in Arizona, was probably the most impactful a Rays player has been to a Rays win this season. And it's kind of hard to measure that with pitchers and hitters, but that's the kind of game that Chandler Simpson had. And that's frankly the type of series that Chandler Simpson has had. He's been fantastic so far in this series. We're going to get to his speed a little bit later, but let's talk about the key to this winning streak right now. It's been the Rays pitching and defense. It's the Rays way. They pitch, they play good defense, and they get timely hits. And that's what they've been doing to a T during this winning streak. And I thought, first of all, Zach Littell was good today. He got the soft contact, and they talked about it on the radio. I listened to a lot of Andy Freed and Neil Solondz today, and they talked about how maybe this wasn't the best matchup for him because Zach Littell is a contact pitcher, and the Padres are a contact-driven team, and they have a really good lineup. But he gathered through it, he weaved through it, and he produced some really good stuff. And for Zach Littell, this was the first time all year he pitched with a lead. Let me say that again. First time all year. I believe this was a 7th or 8th start. He's pitched with a lead. So we can get on him for being 0-5 or whatever. Now he's 1-5 with this game and being the weak link in this rotation, but he hasn't pitched with a lead. And so he finally pitched with a lead, and it was funny. Right when he got the lead, he immediately gave it back up, but then the Rays with the Simpson score on the wild pitch was able to get it back for him. And I thought the Rays did something really smart. Bottom of the 6th, do you want to bring Littell out for that 6th inning? I was thinking, it was like, is Cash going to go to the bullpen here? And he did, because with that Padres bullpen coming up, you're going to get 1 run maybe because they're so good. They have less than a 2 ERA, and they're by far the best ERA in baseball so far. So I thought that Cash was going to go to the bullpen, and he did. He trusted his guys. He went to Rodriguez. Rodriguez shut him down in the 6th. Montgomery had some trouble in the 7th, but he had a huge strikeout to get it to 2 outs in the 7th before Uceta came in and shut it down for that last down the 7th, and then through the 8th. And then Fairbanks came in and shut it down in the 9th, like he has been doing this whole win streak. And now the Rays, with an off day tomorrow, get to reset that bullpen that had Fairbanks and Uceta, their 2 big guns, pitched back-to-back days. So now they get an off day going into the Kansas City series. And then, once again, top of the 9th, Janikowski. How about our guy? 2 hits, producing when we needed some outfield depth. He provided it. And then once again, with 2 outs, we're going to skip Taylor Walls striking out bunting, because that is embarrassing for a Major League Baseball player to do. We're going to skip over that because he had the home run. Able to forgive him for that momentarily. And he made some fantastic plays at short today. Taylor Walls did. And once again, 2 outs. Chandler Simpson, huge RBI single. Plates the insurance run and, frankly, the dagger in this game. Pitching and defense is what's been saving the Rays, but the timely hitting has been one of the most underlying factors. We're going to talk about Chandler Simpson and how his game-changing speed and his play in general has sparked this winning streak right after this. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. From 3-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Don't miss out and head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. This episode is also brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing better than catching an MLB game live, and with the Rays going home to Steinbrenner, now could be the time. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of the ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, Gametime makes getting tickets easier than ever. With last minute deals and all-in pricing and a lowest price guarantee, Gametime takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket prices drop as Gametime gets closer, meaning you can score an incredible deal. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Locked On and is the Rays and is your spot for the Rays' next game, which is again Tuesday at home against the Royals. The Rays are back from their road trip and they're back at home. And I can count on them to help grab tickets to meet my needs and your guys' needs. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app and create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. That could be a free ticket, you guys. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem Locked On, LOCKED on MLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Once again, I want to thank everyone if you're joining live. We got another big number in here after a big-time win. And if you're joining live, leave a comment. We're going to get to them after this last segment, and we're going to show them up. And if you guys have any questions, any comments, put them in the live comment. Or if you're watching the replay, put them in the live comments on the replay. Our replays have been doing really well, getting some really big numbers. And I hope that this continues because this Rays team has been so fun to watch. But let's get to our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Our player of the game is Chandler Simpson. How good has he been? I said it yesterday. You don't need to wait to spot different. You could tell in the first game, Chandler Simpson is different. 3 for 4, that big-time RBI, a walk. I lost count of how many steals. He scored that big go-ahead run to make it 3-2. And before we get to Chandler Simpson, Fernando Tatis is so good. And I thought in the top of the 7th when he threw out Cavi at home, I was like, oh no, here we go again. That was a dagger. As of course, me, the pessimistic Rays fan, saying that's just such a big play. What a play. But then that bullpen, so big, we just talked about it, massive for the bullpen to shut it down after that. But Chandler Simpson brings a different level of swagger and a different level of confidence to this lineup. And I swear that Kevin Gash is listening to the postcast because I said yesterday my top 3 would be Simpson, Lau, Diaz, and that's what he did. And I think the top 5 shouldn't change. I think should go Simpson, Brandon Lau, Yandy, Aranda Jr. And whatever order you want to do it, that should be the 5. And then you work off it. Whether you want Morel, whether you want Janikowski now, whether you want Meisner, whether you want to bump Jensen up, who's been providing some good at-bats. But Chandler Simpson has brought a game-changing level of speed and a game-changing level of confidence to this team. And I think that he's been the main spark during this 5-game winning streak because he just has so many key hits, so many big-time moments that some don't even show up in the box score. Like when he stole second, obviously a steal is going to show up in the box score, but most of the time you're thinking, oh, 2 outs, a walk, steal second, nothing too harmful, right? But when you got the bats coming up after him, the Rays' best hitters, which is why I think he should stay batting leadoff, it's where you can really do some damage. And Chandler Simpson, his speed, his confidence, his maturity as a rookie, only playing his first week in the MLB, has been huge. And some other things I want to highlight before we get to the comments. 3 straight strong pitching outings to sweep the Padres. I thought it was huge. The Rays won the starting pitching matchup in every game this series, and with Michael King and Dylan Cease, that was a must for the Rays, and they did. And since the Rays won, they didn't have to face that vaunted Padres bullpen losing, and that's a huge key, massive for the Rays to avoid that. And the bullpen has been beyond fantastic. We already talked about it in this winning streak. And if Janikowski keeps playing like this, he's not going to get 2 hits every game, but providing good at-bats, and he's going to be a plus defender. Good depth for the Rays until they get some of their guys back because they needed some depth. It was good to see him in his first start perform. So let's get to some of these comments. And if you guys are in here now, watching live, leave a comment. We're about to get to them. I see a lot of let's go Rays, big time sweep. It really is, man. I mean, 5-1 on the road trip. We talked about how the Rays needed to get at least 4-2 on this road trip. They did one better. They went 5-1, and now they're back to 500. We start with the guy Gary. He's in here after every game. Much appreciated for your support. And he said, not sure where DeLuca fits in this team now, but the Rays will deal with it when the time comes. 100% right. I was talking about this with a buddy of mine as well. Where does he fit? Where does DeLuca come in now? Because this was supposed to be his breakout year, and now Simpson has came and snatched it from him. And it's nothing to DeLuca. He's been hurt. But like I said, I don't think you can sit Simpson, send him back down. I don't think you can mess with that kind of special. But the one thing I've learned to appreciate about the Rays is I trust Eric Nylander. I trust that he's going to make the right move, and whether it's playing DeLuca and right, and it's just going to be really interesting to see because we could see Pistachios, when he comes back, be more of an infielder, right? Him and Cabby, and you keep the Meisner, the Mangum, the Morel in the outfield, of course, with Rishi and Caballero having the versatility to play both. But when all those guys are back, it's definitely going to be an interesting decision for the Rays. As we go to Creel Southpaw, appreciate you joining, appreciate your comment. Finally, a Littell win. I agree. We all got on Littell pretty good during his last loss, and I thought that it was not indicative because he was not being bad, if that makes sense. Like he had the one game against the Angels where he was really bad. But besides that, he's been a solid pitcher, and he's your number 5 pitcher, right? That's what you expect out of your number 5. For a time, I thought the team had something against him. Yeah, I mean, when you see the stat today that this was the first time all year he's pitched with a lead, you start to think, how's that possible? With the Rays kind of being as good as they have been lately. But very big. The Rays went through their entire pitching rotation. Each of them, I don't know if each of them picked up a win, but during their start, they picked up a win. So, and I think this is a big time comment here from Mike. Give Wall some credit. Definitely, Taylor Walls have gotten the brunt end of the stick from a lot of Rays fans. And even though he did bunt to strike out, and unless it was a sign from the dugout, bunting with 2 strikes is kind of like a cardinal sin. Unless you're super confident you get him over, which Walls didn't. Thankfully, Chandler Simpson made it not matter. But that home run was huge. And this was a guy that his first 2 years he hit 8 home runs, so he kind of had that pop, right? And today he was able to show it again, and then he just plays such a good shortstop. I see the value that he provides, and I see the value that Kevin Cash sees in them. As we're going to go to our guy, Argenis, who's again in here every time. Appreciate your support. What would be on this team if we didn't have Nylander's mastermind running the front office? That is a great question, because Nylander has been massive for this team, and everyone before him, everyone he learned from before him in the Rays front office. But his deals, I mean, think about it. He got Junior in like a throw-in trade from Cleveland, right? And it's just those kind of deals. Very rarely see a bad deals. Only really, I think the Blake trade, the Blake Snell trade is considered a bad deal because of what you got back there. But I trust Nylander running this front office, and I trust Kevin Cash managing this team. And when you trust both of those, you're going to have a good team most of the time if your owner pays up the money to be able to have you guys have a good team. But Getting the production from Jonathan Aranda has been huge. Obviously, Junior had another hit today. He's been fantastic. But yeah, I completely agree with you. We go back to Chris Southpaw, and how can you sit Meisner as well? I mean, yeah, it is a good question. He's been struggling a little bit recently, but that was expected because you're not going to hit 400 all year like he was. But I mean, Kevin Cash and Eric Nylander have some big time decisions to make when everyone's healthy. But I don't think everyone is going to be healthy for a little bit because of the injuries. Like, Pistachios is going to be out for another 3 weeks, right? Magnum might be out for another 3 weeks. Is definitely something to look at. But look, it is a good problem to have for this Rays team to have this amount of depth that you have to argue about who should play and who shouldn't play because they're so talented, and everyone in this outfield and the high end of AAA and Durham, and then of course on the Major League level, can produce in a big way. So we go to Alexander, sneaky big play here. We saw that junior athleticism, made a third, and I believe he's talking about the ninth inning because that was a big play. And earlier this season, I was pretty critical of Cash, and that was before I got approved for the postcast, because he would take Junior out for defensive reasonings a good amount later on in games. And I thought, if he's your franchise player, you got to let him battle through those bumps. And he has a little bit more recently. And Junior's been playing a pretty good third base recently. And that's really, really good to see. As we're wrapping up here, if you guys have any more comments, any more questions before we go on the off day tomorrow, put them in the chat. Again, 5th straight win for the Rays. How good is it to hear that? The Rays are back to 500. The Rays are back in the thick of it in the AL East. And we said it before, you don't want to look at standings too much, but you can't win a division before Memorial Day, and you sure can lose it. And I said it was going to be good for the Rays to get out of Steinbrenner and get on the road, and it sure was. They're going to get back home now, hopefully in front of the home crowd, that they can pick up some wins. So any more comments, put them in right now. We're going to go to I Love Legos 2000. Who doesn't love Legos? And he hopes that we can keep this winning streak going for future games. I agree. The Royals have been playing some really good ball lately. Bobby Witt, if you guys are more of a casual fan, Bobby Witt is one of the best players in the MLB. Has a 19-game winning streak. The Royals just had their 6-game winning streak snapped. This was a team that made the divisional round of the playoffs last year. So big time series upcoming. I'd love to see the Rays take 2 out of 3. As we go 2 more here, I want to shout out Gary saying 6-2 since the postcast launched. That's big time stuff. I agree with him. I'm not going to take all the luck. I'm not going to take all the credit. I'll take some of it, but not all. As we get to Jay Kirshner, Jay Kirshner is a buddy of mine. I've coached Jay for a long time. And he's like, do you think an 88 season will put us in the playoffs? That is a great question. I lean toward yes, because there's a lot of mediocrity in the AL. When you look at the NL, you see the Dodgers, you see the Padres. Really, just if you just look at the NL West in general, it's stacked. But you see the Cubs all in the NL. Who's the best team in the AL? The Yankees, probably, but I don't love their lineup depth, if I'm being honest with you. The Royals are really good, but again, I don't love their pitching staff to go super far in the playoffs. So I think 88 is the borderline amount you're going to have to get into the playoffs. And hopefully we're having those conversations come end of August, early September into mid-September, that the Rays are at that number and hopefully making a playoff push. Because, look, I said it before, and I'll end on this. The Rays have a top 5 rotation in baseball, pitching rotation in baseball. I firmly believe that. They have 7 starting pitchers when McClanahan's healthy that can go and that can give you ace-level stuff on any given day. I think they have a top 5 bullpen in baseball, especially with Uceta and Fairbanks in the back end, right? Uceta and Fairbanks 8-9. You got Montgomery, you got Kelly when he's back healthy. You got just roll through it. Clevenger, who's been really good lately. Top 5 bullpen. And when this lineup gets healthy with Josh Lowe, you can have the depth in the lineup to really fear people 1 through 9. When Josh Lowe comes back, when Hyun Kim comes back, I mean, that is a lineup that you fear 1 through 9. And that could be a top 10 lineup. The Rays have that. They will be feared end of the season and into the playoffs. And as Gary says right here, if you guys are watching the comments, I'll also put this up. Tigers sweeping the Orioles. I said it yesterday. The rest of the AL East is struggling. Boston won today, but they lost the other day to Cleveland. Obviously, the Yankees and Blue Jays are playing right now. I know that the Yankees won the first game, that doubleheader, but this is the time to make a move. And the Rays made up ground because the division was not performing the way that it needed to. And it was big for the Rays to pick up these wins. I love all the late comments, but we have to get out of here after this last comment from Jay, because I think this is worth mentioning. As he says, second best batting average and runners in scoring position, top 10 offense now. That is huge, because Who remembers last year the Rays struggling to hit with runners in scoring position? It was like pulling teeth. And to see the Rays be so good of that so early, and I have a stat for you guys right here. Yandy Diaz, the heartbeat of the offense. He started 2 for 23 with runners in scoring position. He's 5 for his last 9, right? I think that's part of the main reason the Rays have exploded with runners in scoring position. And I'd love to see the stat with them with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, because that they've been superb with that as well. The Rays have an off day tomorrow. I'm going to miss all of you tomorrow, but I will be right back here on Tuesday. Hopefully the Rays winning their 6th game in a row. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten over the last week. It has been awesome to see. And just like Lauren Kendrick says in the comments, bye to everybody. And we will see you guys on Tuesday. Once again, thank you for all the support. If you made it to the end, like, comment, and send it to someone. And I'll see you guys Tuesday, hopefully after another Rays win.